So finally, I've been able to finish Alien Isolation, and I've gone through some hilarious moments, some awful moments, some frightening moments, some amazing moments, and it's been overall a pretty good ride, and it's been overall a fairly enjoyable game, particularly since I'm not huge into multiplayer games, more into the I should say I'm not particularly big into single player games. Pardon me. I'm more into the multiplayer games. So, this is the first horror game I've played in a very, very long time. And so, I hope I get some additional sort of points or an extra like for that, for actually stepping out there and doing it. Now, I played this game more so because it's a sci-fi game. It's got a lot of really cool sort of aesthetics and the look and feel and a cool storyline and a bunch of other factors that really made the game particularly unique given sort of my interests in movie and sort of lore related to, again, sci-fi, science, all that kind of stuff, or space, all that kind of stuff. So that was interesting, a really cool, unique, and I like that aspect, considering many of the multiplayer games I play are in fact World War II games. So huge difference, and I'm actually starting to take a look at Friday the 13th, that particular game, which looks not only quite good, but it looks entertaining and looks somewhat hilarious. With that being said, I would recommend this game as if you are really into single player games, if you're really into sort of story driven games. As you can see from my videos, it's a different and very well done game. You want to get in there, you want to play, you want to see what happens next. That's something that I really like. But beyond that, I'm just going to list through some pros and cons, pardon me, and hopefully that makes sense to those who have either watched my videos and or continue, or who may be watching through them now. So some of the pros include the aesthetics of the game. I've mentioned this before. It looks, feels, sounds beautiful. It just, everything works, from the voice acting of the original character cast in the first movie that you hear sprinkled throughout the game, to the actual sounds of the alien bumping around in the vents and the android saying, "I'm going to get you," or "I'm going to catch you." There's a real feeling that you're connected, if you will, to the alien universe just through those things alone, which I think a lot of other games don't have, which I think is really not only a pro, but a very strong pro. With that being said, another pro to this game is the actual, I think the actual AI is very well done. I think I played this game on hard mode. I did not play it on Nightmare, but I played it on hard mode, and I thought that the game AI, there were parts where it was extremely difficult, where the alien, for example, was on my butt 24/7, which admittedly was annoying at times. But I did also like the fact that you would have in the early part of the game, okay, it wasn't so difficult. See, you're able to sort of get used to it, and then there was other times where it was just like insane, like, oh no, man, this is crazy, I don't know what to do, blah, blah, blah. And I said in moments that I hate this game, and it's true, there's moments where I did absolutely hate this game, but then there's moments where I'm like, man, that is so cool, awesome, amazing. And it's not a balance between the two, it's that the game really pushes you to perform in particular circumstances, which I think is perfectly reasonable and legit and makes sense. I think the developers, of course, want that. They want you to be challenged in different areas of the game. With that, but the AI, which I'll talk about in just a little bit, also had some things that I wasn't too happy about. Um, so there's obviously, I mean, I could talk about this game for a while in terms of pros and cons, but another pro that I thought was, um, you know, I mean, this is debatable, but I liked the fact that you're being hunted, and I like the fact that you can't actually kill the alien. I like the fact that it's like you got to figure out what the heck's going on, and you only have so much power. I think we're so used to having so much of this power in video games and what we do in many activities and stuff, that we're just like, oh yeah, I'll just kill the alien, it's fine. Like, oh, okay, I just gotta figure it out and it'll be fine. I actually like that you can't kill it. You have sort of this inferiority that you have to deal with, and you have to apply sort of your own sort of way of playing the game that that forces you to basically, finish the game at the end of the day. So those things are probably the biggest pros of this game. I know a lot of people don't like the fact that you can't just pick up the shotgun and shoot the alien. Trust me, I tried. Trust me, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And you'll see that in my videos, or you may have already seen that in my videos. Now, some of the cons, the storyline is good. The storyline overall is well done. I would say well done, but it drags on. And I know that the creators have to, they gotta have content. They gotta say, you know what, we want to make 30-hour gameplay. That's what we want to do, or 40-hour gameplay, or 200-hour. They gotta fill up the game. I get it, totally get it. But I thought you'll see in the final episode that I posted, the end, with the no commentary. It honestly, like, it was just like I was about to escape, and then I fell down, and then I had to do this stuff, and it just kept going on and on and on, and I'm just like, really? Like, come on, man. Like, it just seemed like it just went a little bit too far at times. There was another part where, let me try to remember here. Oh yeah, where I had to constantly go around like the alien nest. I didn't mind being in the alien nest and kind of doing what I need to do, but I thought it was like, oh really, I need to go all the way over there to do that, and then I need to come all the way back. And the final part that I thought, this part just drove me on the wall, and you'll see it in the second last one that I posted. I had to go to one room, go across the hallway to the next room, come back across the hallway to the original room, go back to the second room, again across the hallway. I had to go back and forth. I went back and forth 4 times. I went back, not back and forth, but I went back and forth twice. And I'm like, really? And then, you have no supplies. Like, I just thought it was like, out of all the things, in terms of design, out of all the designs, like, this is what you came up with, and it just seemed extremely redundant, and it was actually, I actually wasn't having fun in that part. I thought it was just like, I'm like, really? Like, this is what I have to do? Like, really? Like, I have to do this? I have to go back? Like, I think they did a poor job on that. I don't know if the supplies and any of that were an issue, but I mean, that's debatable. Some of the supplies I thought were basically useless, like the smoke bomb. Really, like, it was like 99.9% of the time literally useless, and I would only ever use it when I didn't have anything else. So that's a difficulty setting thing more than the game in of itself. But nonetheless, I thought I'd quickly mention that. Another thing that I really didn't like about Alien Isolation was, again, this is somewhat debatable, but sometimes hiding or waiting for the alien to go from here to there, or was hovering around you, was again more annoying than actually fun. You're sitting there and you're like, okay, I get it, like, and I can't do anything, so cool. There was another thing that I really didn't like. It's not really related to anything I've talked about, but I feel like the storyline's, like I said, really cool, really interesting, ties into the first Alien movie, cool. All good. But how did like the facehugger get onto some of the second ship, the Marlowe ship? How did the alien get onto Verlaine's ship? How did it get into Verlaine's ship? How? I don't know like the answer to these questions. There's some oddities, and there's also no real human help. The one guy helped for a while, and then Verlaine helped for a while, and then you got a little bit of help from the marshal's office and a little bit of that, but you didn't really like get any help. And this ship is like was full of people, and you would think like okay, you know what, I'm gonna go do that for you. Or like Ripley or myself like literally did everything, and it was just like, I have to do this all in the span of like a day. Like, this is insane, literally insane. Like, this is insane. So I didn't like any of that. I really thought that was, again, kind of like, really, like, I don't know. I think this is kind of taken away from the storyline, but maybe that's just me. I mean, maybe that's just like that's something that's not a big deal, and that's just the way it is in a lot of horror movies. So maybe I shouldn't complain about that too much, or talk about that too much as a con. And let's see. The only other thing that I would say about this game, I haven't actually played the DLCs, any of them yet, so I should check some of those out and post them on my page, just so I can show you guys what's going on with some of those and how unique they are, and what they add or take away. One thing I actually noticed that I should mention on the cons actually is I really didn't like some of the throwing and like reloading tags, just some small sort of keyboard, more so keyboard related issues, if you will. I was like, really? Like, I gotta reload this, I gotta do this. Like, some of that was actually excruciating. It was just like, really? But it is what it is. This game has the facehuggers, it's got the aliens, it's got the alien nest, it's got the direct reference and references to the first movie. It's got a brief sort of little reference to, or some highlights related to the second movie, of course. And then it's got great, like I said, voice acting. It's got anything and everything related to sort of an alien horror game that you'd want. And they've overall done a really good job. Would I buy it again? Yep, I bought it on sale. I'd definitely buy it again. Not full price, but that's me. And I would recommend this game on hard mode. I would not recommend it on normal. I think you get too many supplies on normal. And Nightmare is apparently just like more annoying than anything, because the actual radius relative of the alien relative to your position is actually smaller. The radius gets smaller the higher the difficulty, and so it's fly on poop. He's the fly, you're the poop, and he's just going around that poop, and it's just ridiculous from my knowledge and from the videos I've seen. So that's kind of disappointing, and that's the major reason why I didn't want to play, or didn't want to really go into nightmare mode or anything. I just thought it would end up being more annoying, not necessarily more difficult. But I recommend hard mode, and hard mode I definitely, again, would recommend. And I would recommend don't play this game for like 2-3 hours in a single sitting. I played this game with like 45-minute max intervals, and so there are, in terms of one last con that I forgot to mention, that I didn't write down here, and that's this game does get repetitive. It becomes the same switch, the same set of switches, the same gears, the same thing. You have to go in the same room. Oh, I've been here before. And if you're playing the game for like 2-3 hours, you find yourself, and I did this once or twice, that I was doing the same thing over and over, and I was like, wow, this is not really fun. Like, this is, it'd be nice to have a little more variation here on some of the things I'm doing or whatever. So yeah, that's about all I'll say in terms of Alien Isolation. Go play it if you're into horror games. It's worth it, and hopefully you can find it on sale. So I appreciate the time, guys. Appreciate the views, and hope you enjoyed it.